Hello, and we should be live. Should be broadcasting to YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. So, whatever platform that you're watching it on. Thank you so much. And today I'm going to be making turkey gumbo. I'm going to be making just regular old turkey gumbo and turkey and venison gumbo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the easy version first. And with that, it's going to be kind of from a box. Easy. You've been cooking for Thanksgiving. You probably don't want a whole bunch of stuff to do. So that's going to be the easy version. The second version isn't that hard, and it's going to be from scratch. But trying these out, one of them is Tony Chachere's. The other one is Zatarain's. This one, I believe, has rice in it, if I remember right. This one you pour over rice. So that would be a choice. Something to do with your leftovers. That would be it. I probably need to turn the volume down on my phone because I've got Rumble pulled up over here, which should start playing. There it is. Rumble's up. Cool. I've also put some links out there. And I don't know where the hell that came from. But I put some links out there for Patreon and for my Discord. I have coffee making over there if you wonder what the noise is. I do have a window open, so I'm not going to close that. I live out here in the swamp, so pardon me for 1 second. There we go. The window is closed. Now, you're going to want your leftover turkey, and you can use any of the meat you want. The thigh and the leg and the wing and stuff like that will work better. This is a stew. But you can use breast meat. That's just not my preferred. And a lot of people just use breast meat. So that is an option. Okay, yeah, this is turkey. Gotta make sure. I got chicken in there too. Turkey meat. And this first one we're going to do from the box. Hopefully my coffee pot is not too loud. But I do require coffee. As long as I have coffee, everything works good. At least it should. So, what does the box stated? You need from 1 to 1.5 pounds of meat, which can be sausage, seafood, chicken. In this case, we're using turkey. Mix 6 cups of water, gumbo base, and 2 tablespoons of oil in a 4-quart saucepan until blended and lumps are dissolved. Okay. Cool. So, let me measure that. 6 cups of water. Here's 4. And here is 2 more. Is that going? Yes, it is. So I'm getting this hot, and we're going to put the mix in there. Sorry, I didn't have the window open. And how do I open this? That's what's going to be in the pack. Did I open the right one? I don't know. Oh, apparently both of them you got to put over rice. I don't see any rice in this one. I know some other stuff has rice in it. Oh, yeah, it does have rice. There we go. And what's it say? 2 tablespoons of oil. Dog, will you move? So where's my oil? It's peanut oil. Oh, no. Do not know where my olive oil is. Oh well, we use canola. About 2 tablespoons. And what are we going to do? We're going to mix it together. I would use that whisk over there, but I'm about to use that for something else. Just going to stir this until it's not lumpy. In a slow cooker, probably. I think about anything can be cooked in a slow cooker, but this is going to be pretty quick for this one. You just don't want any lumps of the seasoning or anything like that in there. I usually don't go from a box. So if I'm having to read, like I'm retarded or something, or I don't know what the word would be now, that is why. I'm usually not going from a box. But this would be easier probably for a lot of people to do. So I'm going to do this one as well. It's got the rice and everything in it. Bring to a boil. Reduce heat. Let's see. Yeah, stirring chicken and sausage. It wants me to put it now. That's what I was wondering. Because on the one that I'm fixing to cook, you gotta wait a little bit later because you don't want to overboil your turkey or it's going to get tough. So this right here is andouille sausage, which you don't absolutely have to. I don't know where you live and what kind of sausage that you can get. But if you can't get the andouille, which is the Cajun sausage, a good like dark smoked sausage will work as well. And then we have turkey. I don't know how much turkey I'm going to use in here. This is just leftover turkey that I deboned. So that's about 1.5 pounds of meat total. So there we go. I use the rest of this with the other gumbo that I'm going to cook. And we are going to bring this to a boil. We're going to cover it. We're going to put it on the back burner. And then I'm going to make my gumbo. And yes, I'm stirring it, making sure there's no clumps or nothing in it. In all honesty, if you're just trying to get rid of turkey, something to do with it, you don't even have to add sausage. You just need to add some kind of meat to it. But it's going to go better if you add some sausage just because it's gumbo. And I don't really use okra in gumbo. Sometimes I like it. I use roux or filet, usually roux. And those are the other two things they add. Okra, roux, and filet are used to thicken it up, which I'll show you here in a minute. I got in late. I'm a truck driver for a living. Took a load to Michigan. Came back. I missed Thanksgiving, so I'm dealing with leftovers. If you're on Rumble over there, let me see if I have anyone. Got 2 people over on Rumble. MKJO, which is Krabby Turtle, is commenting. So awesome. Leave a comment, leave a rant, leave us something. Let me know you're out there. If you're on Rumble, if you're on YouTube or any of the others, leave a comment. Let me know you're there. So it's basically just bring this to a boil. That's all your preparation right there. If you've already got the meat in there, you want to kind of, if you're using breast meat, I would more dice it up than shred it up. The rest of the meat, just kind of shred it up, what have you. And just put it in there. And that pack has everything you need. That's what I was thinking. I had to pour it out all the way to see the rice. The Zatarain's already has the rice in it. So you're just putting your gumbo in there, 6 packs of water, 2 tablespoons of oil, and bring it to a boil. Let it simmer for about 20 minutes, and you're good. So now we get to watch a pot boil. But anyways, I'm going to have to skin some more sausage here in a minute. And I've already got bell pepper, onion, I've got celery, I've got garlic, but you don't add the garlic in there first. That's not for this pot, that's for the next one. This is just easy. If you're going through the grocery store, you see the Zatarans or you see the Tony Sashiri, and you want to make gumbo with it. This works for chicken, for anything. It's actually for, making chicken gumbo or seafood gumbo or what have you. You can use shrimp. You can use all kinds of stuff. If you use crab, I would use a blue crab. A lot of people don't have a blue crab down in the bottom of the pot. And where is it at? I thought I just had it. But then she comes in here and moves everything on me. So then I can't find what I just had. I swear she does it on purpose. I had a feeling. Had might be the opportune word here. And it was right there. I do not know where it is now. If you have some, it is awesome and you want to add it a little bit later. Coming to a boil here. Cornbread. I already made that. Where would it have gone? Don't you hate that when you have something, you have it. You just had your hands on it earlier. And it's not where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to need that later. And in order to do this, I'm going to move that back there. And we'll start with this one. And unfortunately, this is live. So I'm looking for something. It is live. Something that I literally just had. Over there. Have all kinds of spices up here. That's going to go for about 20 minutes back there. So, set my little timer. Oh, here it is. I'm blaming her. This is what I was looking for. For gumbo, you want that, you want okra, or you want a roux, or all of them, or a combination of two. They're from different regions. But everybody has access to everything now. So, everybody uses everything. Checking Rumble. Coolness. I usually go live later. M. Gabriel's out there. Hello, how are you doing? Just saw your comment. Yeah, I usually go live later, but being a truck driver, I have to do my DOT physical tomorrow, and I'm not going to be up all night. I'm just not. So how do I want to do this? It would help if that burner worked, but it does not. I'm going to have to do the roux here in a minute. Yes, I know. Think things through before you start. I was never good at that. Never. Now, we're going to start off with the vegetables and cooking them down for the other one. After I finish with my coffee. Do that. And my wife got this cool Ninja coffee pot. Makes pretty good coffee, almost as good as my percolator. I just have to say that, almost as good. It makes good coffee though. And where's the creamer? My fridge is out. I have to get in the corner and open the door because I have a tiny, tiny kitchen. So what are we going to use here? I need a spoon. You can use your choice of oils or grease or what have you. Until you get to the root. You can even use butter at this point, which oftentimes I do use butter. But is that ticking bothering anyone? Just let me know if it is, and I'll move the thing. But on a roux, don't use the butter. Use an oil or baking grease. Something like that. How much do I want to use here? If you don't have bacon grease, which I had bacon grease just for this occasion, and somebody threw it away, and I made that somebody go and pick this up. That works pretty good too. Find that at H-E-B, Walmart, what have you. I have my heat a little too high. There we go. That should be enough. This pan, even though it's so old, probably older than some of my viewers, are pot. The reason that I use it, and it is actually Amy's grandmother's pan. I'm the one that uses it more. It's hollow. And the way that it holds heat and it heats evenly, I love it. So that is why I use it very often. Because I like it. Also, why the popping is a little bit louder, because it's popping on something that has sort of a acoustic quality to it. It'd be interesting to make popcorn in it. That'd be really loud. But yeah, it's like 2 layers of metal. And we're going to start with the onion. That's 1 large sweet onion. I've got 2 large bell peppers. And I have about 4 stalks of celery. That may not look like it's enough grease, but it is. So your vegetables are going to cook down, and you're also going to get liquid from the vegetables. I'm going to show you some options for roux as well here in a second. And a lot of this stuff comes from what ingredients were available, which is kind of how they came up. I believe how the Trinity came about. Because you have a lot of basically French people that would be used to using like Maripot, and carrots don't grow too good. So they kind of made their own version, and you have the Trinity. And I do have garlic ready. I'm just not adding it right now because of the garlic will burn easy. So let me see. Edward Espinoza, how are you doing? The tick has a nice beat to it. Awesome. To spread the heat. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh. Had the windows all open, airing out the house earlier. I live in the swamp in southeast Texas, literally with alligators and hogs and everything else. So it is what it is. We're going to cook this down. Because once we get this going, and I got this cooked down, in a minute, I'm going to add some sausage to it. We're going to move it. I'm going to add some chicken stock to it. We're going to move it. And And then I'm going to make a roux. This I will save for the end, which that's just sassafras. But on the ingredients and stuff, you have Creole and you have Cajun. And Creole's more like New Orleans, Cajun's more like country people. They had more access to flour and stuff by the port, and people who lived away from it did not. So they were using things like okra and filet and all of that stuff because they didn't have access to flour. And now you go someplace, they're pretty much using at least two of them or all three or what have you. I've seen some of the guys on TV use all three. I wasn't ragging too hard on her coffee pot over there. It's a pretty cool coffee pot. Kind of like it. I still like my percolator. As far as coffee pots go, that thing is awesome. I probably need to be doing the sausage right now instead of just talking. And this one is going to be venison and turkey. And what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to put venison sausage in it. You can just use venison sausage. You can, just like the other one, use the andouille sausage. But I am going to use some of the andouille along with the venison. And if you have an HEB near you, HEB has their own brand of venison sausage. If you have a hunter in the family, they will have something better. But just so you know, there are options in your sausage choice. And if you get the sausage that is a little straighter and curved, like this one, that's andouille, it will be easier to peel. Who else is up there? So now I have to peel the venison sausage. If you can find something that's skinless, use that. Save yourself some work. I am not against it. I will say the andouille does peel better than the HEB sausage. Much, much better. HEB can be a pain sometimes when it comes to peeling it. And there's a lot of people who don't, and if you don't, that's your business. I do. So that's what I'm doing. Peeling sausage. Then I got to cut it up. And when you're cutting your sausage up, just think about the size that you would like to see on a spoon. Because you're making a stew that is really good for cold weather, and you're probably going to be eating it with a spoon. So if you're wondering what size to cut them up, and I generally just coin them, that would be what I'd go by then. A size that you would like to see on a spoon. Like I said, I'm using a mixture of the andouille and the venison sausage. And the venison is venison and pork, which is virtually all venison sausage. It's always cut with pork. I'm sure somewhere somebody has one today. But it's cut with pork. If you have a problem with pork, that will be a problem. They do have beef sausage that you could use in that case. Let's get a good smoked beef sausage and go to town. One of the reasons we have all these problems with all the wild hogs out here is because of the French and the Spanish settlers. They started bringing the hogs over here. Before this was even part of Spain, but it was part of France, and then Spain, and then Mexico, and then we were our own country, and then we joined the United States. There's Six Flags. The whole point in Six Flags. But those settlers would bring hogs with them, and those hogs would get loose, and hogs tend to breed like rabbits. And they're tasty, but they keep breeding, and we're talking 400 years worth at this point. So we have a massive feral hog problem, and it is due to them. Mainly the French and the Spanish, which is all throughout the South. It's the same problem in Florida. Louisiana, obviously. I will turn the back one down, because that should be done now. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my sausage. Don't really have to add a lot of seasoning or any if you don't want to. But it does help. We're going to add cayenne pepper. Haven't really decided on what else at the moment. And I do need to add the garlic. Now that we have all of this. Cannot forget the garlic. I probably should have added that in there about, 5 minutes ago. But it's in there now. And I usually smash my garlic. You can mince it. I sort of smashed it and minced it. And it's in there. Sorry about that. Choking over here. Krabby, thank you for the comments, especially on Rumble. Are any of you mods? Not sure. I don't know why this isn't showing up. I was trying to pull up the YouTube chat. Oh, there it is. Charger is a mod. Awesome. Thank you. I see you there. If y'all don't have my Rumble, you kind of don't like me posting the link. I don't know if Charger wants to or not. If you don't mind, then everybody would have it. And I have a message from someone on Twitch wanting to promote my channel. I'll look at that later. Because I don't trust any of that stuff. And here we have the cayenne. I am going to put about a tablespoon of cayenne because I like it. And what else do I want to use? You can add sage, you can add thyme. There's all kinds of different things people add to it. I'm going to put a teaspoon of ground thyme. We're going to add some more stuff here in a minute. Also add beer, but I'm not drinking beer today. Okay, what else am I going to add? The turkey is going to be added towards the end. Because you don't want to overboil it. It's already cooked. You're just heating it up. And if you overboil it, your turkey is going to get tough. Where'd the salt go? There it is. That's called living with another human being. They move things. This is about ready. Start adding some stuff to it. Not adding the roux just yet, but I'm going to give you some options. Now you can use turkey broth, turkey stock, chicken broth, chicken stock. I'm going to use chicken. As far as roux goes, we're going to make a roux, but you can pick something up like this. This is a good dry roux that I've used before that I actually like. You see that one? It's already got all your spices and everything in it. Pretty much all you got to do with that one is add about 6 cups of water and you're good. She's laughing if you can hear her over there. She got a bread box because we have 2 cats and a dog. And the cats figured out how to open the bread box. Please. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. That's about where I want it. If you don't have stock, you can literally use like water and roux. And I am putting 2 quarts in here. I never opened that right. For the sake of time, I'm not going to cook this as long. I'm going to cook it longer after I end the chat. I'm probably going to let it boil low for about 2 hours after I end this. It's another reason why I'm waiting to the end to add the turkey. And we are going to bring that one to a boil. And a good pairing with this is obviously French bread. So let me find a plate. There's a plate. She's gonna have to figure out a way to put a lock on her bread box. The cat's already figured it out. They are not stupid. That is just French bread. Spoon. I don't know what kind of bowl I want to use. I'll just use one of these. I know it don't match. Let me check the comments. Oh, cool. Thank you for posting the link. Thank you, Charger. Also, if you are on Rumble, please leave me rumbles. And if you are on YouTube, leave me likes. If you are on Twitch, leave me whatever their version of it is. I'm getting better at the timing. I'm not exactly good yet, but I'm getting better. That'll work. Falls in it, falls in it. I don't care. I need to get another thing to put those on. My last one broke. But for the easy gumbo from the box, and this is just turkey gumbo, it is ready right there. Agorizer, hey, how are you doing? And I would probably add more rice than this has in it. I would make a little, set it to the side, and just pour it over. It has rice in it. You don't have to. You can eat it just like this. But I like a little more rice in it. And that is how easy that one is to make. So if you have turkey leftovers, you don't have to use the anadil. I would prefer it, but you can use any sausage. You don't even have to use sausage. If you use something that's not, well, anadui, I end up calling it both. Everyone here does. I think it's actually anadui. But if you're going to use a different kind of sausage, try to find a good dark one, a good dark smoked one, and that will work really good. And this is the South, so you got to have some kind of bread to sop everything up with. French bread works. If you got an HEB, they make their own. This needs to hurry up. The one that's on the back burner is the one that I just used the box. We use the Zatarans, but there is also the Tony Chachere's. Tony Chachere's, you're going to definitely need to boil some rice to go with it. And you don't even have to make a roux to go with this because you can just use the filet at the end, which I added at the end anyways. I believe we're going to make a roux. You might want your turkey in little smaller pieces too. Well, that one works. Bread, crackers, rice, yeah. This right here is sassafras. Like I was saying earlier, in gumbo, they would use the filet, which is this fowl filet. This little thing at the end on top of the E. And they use that to thicken it. They use okra to thicken it. That's why you see okra in a lot of gumbo. I generally don't put it in there. Sometimes I do, but not generally. And they would make a roux. But from what I understand, they had better access to flour and stuff in New Orleans where you get more of your Creole food than out in the country. So in the country is where you'd find more okra and filet and stuff like that. But in modern times, everyone has excess. Sorry, need some coffee. Strangling. Anyways, in modern times, everyone has access to everything. So you go anywhere you want, and they're making a roux. They're putting the filet in there. They're putting okra. They're using everything. You see the cooks on TV. They'll use everything. Yes, you can hear the kitty. She's hollering for a Tom. She's really wanting a Tom. She's better than she was last night. One day I'll get her fixed. Your blender is your garbage disposal. Full. But if you want an easy gumbo, and honestly, how I did the pot on the back there, you can use shrimp, you can use crab. So I'd use a blue crab. Make a good seafood gumbo. You can use chicken. You can literally pick up a rotisserie chicken from your grocery store. You can pick up this box here. When you get home, just start stripping the meat off the rotisserie chicken, and put it in the pot. You're good to go. Pick up some Cajun sausage or whatever you prefer, and you'll be good. This thing needs to already be boiling. Do stir it every once in a while. Shouldn't have to do too bad once you get it to this point after you add the broth. There we go. Forgot where I was. Some people might have a supportive spouse. I do not. It is what it is. I don't consider that hot, but it is spicy. I do have kind of a sore throat at the moment. So just warning, it will probably make your nose run a little bit. Now it is boiling. And she is pissed. Good. Like I said, this is going to cook a lot longer than what you're going to see. Because I'm going to make a roux. I'm going to add it to it. And then, after I do the roux, I add it to it. We're going to make some rice. And I'll show you this one. But it's going to cook probably for at least another 2 hours. I'm just going to eat this gumbo here. Turn the heat down. They got the boiling real good. What you're going to want is just a good low roll right there. And that's where it's going to stay at. See, we've only been going for an hour. I've already got one that's ready. This one was technically ready in about 30 minutes. So you can take that leftover turkey in your fridge in 30 minutes. You can have a meal on the table. Or you can spend a few hours and you can make it all from scratch. I still haven't decided if I want to use bacon grease or gumbo. Or I like canola oil or something. I'll see what I decide in a few minutes. It's like anything else, there's so many different ways you could go. It's not just one way. But everybody's family does something different. You get a little different version. And you get like your grandmother's gumbo. And that's what gumbo is to you. Or you have like your favorite restaurant, their version. Something like that. Leave that cat alone. Dennis, go. Dennis. Cat, he's fixed. He can't help you. Lovely. Anyways, I think the cat's trying to convince the dog to help her out. He's fixed. Now we got this on a low roll. I'm going to add, this ain't gonna matter. There we go. I was going to use that thing. That's about a teaspoon and a half Worcestershire sauce. Because I have it. Where's my hot sauce? You can use Tabasco. You can use Crystal, whatever. I would use either Tabasco or Crystal. And this is Crystal. And as always, taste it. Use a tasting spoon. You notice there we go. You notice I haven't added salt yet. That is very hot. Not normally, but like I said, I've got a sore throat. The cayenne, the Crystal. Yeah, that'll make your nose run. Put that one there so I can keep track of it. How are we going to do this? There we go. And where did I put the lid? I don't know if I want to put a lid on it right now. It's boiling again. And if you have a plastic whisk, I'd use that. I'm using a pan that, or I don't really care about, it's old. And I gotta do some measuring. So what am I gonna measure with? I will be adding some salt later. Just not right now. want to use canola or do I want to use bacon grease? I'll turn that down. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think I'll use bacon grease. Yeah, it's about a quarter cup. That will work. We are going to get that really, really hot. About a quarter cup of oil. The more unsure you are, the more oil I would use. But I'm going to turn this up really hot. And I'm just going to be stirring. The lower the temp, the longer it's going to take. And you never, ever, ever walk away from a roux. Ever. It will not work out good. You will burn a roux. How much is this? This. I'm going to sprinkle it in here. Just a little bit at a time. And hopefully the noise doesn't bother you. If I screw it up, I'll just make another one. There are a lot of roux that ended up being gravy. But you don't want clumps. If the noise is bothering you, let me know and I will mute it. And if you want to use the oil, that is a lot easier to do than using the bacon grease because it has a higher smoke temp, which is why you don't use butter making a roux. It has a very, very low smoke temp. Grandma wouldn't have been measuring all of this stuff. She would have just been doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and she knew about how much she wanted to use. But you do not stop stirring a roux, ever. Because you will burn it. That's about right. Never walk away from it. Your arm will get tired. That's just what it is. Night Strike, how you doing? I'm not making gravy. I hope not unless I really screw this up. If I really screw it up, it might be gravy. I'll make some biscuits. Ah, well, that is like getting hit with hot grits. That sticks to you. You don't want to get hit with roux either. There is a gumbo, or it's not really gumbo, they call it a gumbo that is a vegetarian version. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. That one you will use more of a blonde roux. Everything else you want a dark roux. This is why you do not walk away from it, because you're right at that point. I just turned my heat off. You want the nutty smell, you don't want a burnt smell. Nice and dark. That popped me in the eye. Lower corner. I do not know where to put this. This thing is hot. Usually a roux is the time that'll take you about 30-40 minutes to make. I just turned the heat up really, really high, so I could do that a lot quicker. And my tasting spoon. Always taste your food. Taste your flour. Taste your batter. There we go. And it will need some salt. I usually wait a bit. Clean this off. I need more measuring spoons. I need more a lot of things. And this is kosher, but you don't have to use kosher. It's a tablespoon. And we'll see how that does. Add a little bit. You can always add too little. You can't take it back though, you know. What we got in the comments? Thank you, Night Strike. Check comments out. Yeah, our tree has been a victim twice so far. And what is happening? Gas line from the street, propane tanks. Let me go to YouTube. No vegetarian dishes in your house. I don't cook them very often. Sometimes I do. There's something just because I like vegetables. It has nothing to do with being a vegetarian or anything. Although I will say the only diet that really works well for me losing weight is a pescatarian diet, which is basically vegetarian, add seafood. That works really well. But in order to do that, every once in a while, I have to cheat. And I have a ribeye. It's like I can do the pescatarian all week, but then it's like, hey, it's Sunday or it's Monday or whatever, I'm going to eat a ribeye. See Charger talking about seed oils. Yeah, seed oils are not very good for you. But a lot of them do have really high smoke temps, and that's why they want to use them. See where Night Strike said hi. Hello, Night Strike. How are you? Oh. And let me see what else we have here. That's about it. Why would it be banned? You live in one of those like states that are weird. Why would you ban a natural gas stove? You try to ban a gas stove down here, you're gonna have a riot. And it's gonna be a bunch of old ladies. Be all races too. The old white ladies, old black ladies, it'll bring the races together. Yeah, they can go for that. You had an entire roasting pan filled. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So what else are we doing here? We got the roux. We need to make the rice. So I'm trying to remember everything. Not necessarily doing a good job of it. We don't need a ton. Or at least right now enough. See if I can do this. rinse this out. Dry it. Measure my rice, measure my water. Now, some people use the finger method. I haven't quite been able to do that. Oh well. Oh, that's jasmine rice. I don't want that. Because rice goes everywhere. I do not want that. This is regular rice. That is what I want. The thing about rice, we leave it in something, and barley is this way too. It's going to continue to soak up whatever juices that you have in it. So a lot of people will make their ice and keep it on the side, and I may do that, I may not. I don't know. Depends. If it's like really, really thick, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna leave it in there. Rice. Water. Salt. Stir it. Now we're basically waiting on the rice. I need to turn this front one down a little bit more. You don't want it boiling too hard. A rebellion. Let me see. Yeah, night strikes in South Carolina. You get ranch dressing over there, it will be wonderful. It's going to be half lard, but it's going to be wonderful. Their cooking's not that much different. We're just different ends of the South. They're a little sweeter, we're a little hotter. That's all. And yes, the food has lard in it, and it is amazing. 16 quarts of gravy. Awesome. Yeah, that would start the rebellion. They're worried about, politics and Democrats and Republicans and our 2A rights and all that stuff. And we see how that goes. But you ban gas stoves down here, and you'll probably figure out what the Second Amendment is for. Because that shit's not going to work. It just ain't. So, let me see. Taste it. It is good. It is spicy. If you don't want it as spicy, use about half of the cayenne that I did. So if you have a sore throat like I do at the moment, it is going to hit that throat. Actually, probably good for it. That's what we used to do when we were sick, is we would eat hot food. Try to burn it out. So what we're going to do here is we're making the rice. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to add the turkey to the pot. So like I said, I don't want the turkey boiling for too long. And it's still going to boil at least an hour after this. Or at least low roll boil kind of thing. It's not quite boiling now. There it is. If you leave it in there just boiling and boiling, you're already cooked turkey. It's going to get rubbery. So, if you're making it this way, add your turkey last. Have 16 apple dumplings in the deep freeze. Cool. I need to start making stuff and putting it in the deep freeze. Like, you can just use like gallon Ziploc bags and heat it up when you need to. But basically right now, we're just waiting on the rice. That is all we are doing, is waiting on rice. I'm going to add some turkey in here in a minute. The easy gumbo's done. We already ate that. That's it. You buy gallon freezer bags from Sam's Club by the case. I don't buy them by the case, but we buy a lot of them. Let me go back and check Rumble for in case anyone's over there. Charger, you usually do turkey sandwiches with mayo or Miracle Whip. Yes, we will be doing that as well. But you get tired of turkey sandwiches after a while. And mustard. Mustard is a must. It's like I've seen people make potato salad and they don't put any mustard in it. It's like, what the hell? A little spice is perfect. Ouch. Cool. Awesomeness. If you're on Rumble and you scroll up to the top, there's a link to my Patreon and a link to my Discord. Also on the YouTube chat, if you scroll all the way up to the chat, there's a link to my Discord and a link to my Patreon if anyone is interested in either one of those. And as we've noticed, we've all went to the store recently. The food's not getting any cheaper. It's insane. I'm glad both my boys are grown. Now they're worried about what they eat. Why are they worried about what they eat? I think it has more to do with their paying for it. Now we are going to turn the rice down. It is boiling. I'm going to stir it again. I generally once or twice fluff the rice when it's cooking just because OCD. Probably not supposed to, but I do, so who cares? It's not hurting anything. I'm leaving this uncovered just so the camera has something to look at. Dry mustard in your Boston baked beans? Yes. And I agree with Night Strike 100%. There's a lot of things in New York that's heresy. I have relatives there. Never had the shrimp. Yeah. You can do everything that I just did right here, and instead of using like venison sausage or any sausage, or you can put the sausage in it as well. You can put some andouille sausage in there. You can fill it up with shrimp and have a big old blue crab in the bottom of it and have you some seafood gumbo. The okra does do better in the seafood gumbo, though. If you're going to use okra, I would rather have it in seafood gumbo than in like chicken and sausage or turkey gumbo or something like that. Obviously, if you see this anywhere, the camera, pick that up. You can use it instead of roux. You can use it as seasoning afterwards. Filet, however, called filet. I don't pronounce anything right in any language, so if anyone's expecting me to do that, you're gonna have problems. I generally add this at the end. Some restaurants will have that sitting on the table, or you can ask for it and they'll bring it to you. Look how nice and dark that is. You always want your gumbo dark. This isn't chicken soup. It's gumbo. Nice, warm, especially when it's cold. It does snow in Louisiana and northern Louisiana about once every, 5 or 6 years in southern, kind of like it does here. I live out between Houston and Beaumont, and it's the same weather. Past few years, we've actually gotten some snow. We usually don't. Usually if we get anything, it's sleet, and they call it snow. You can wipe off your entire 1978 Grand Prix and make a little snowman out of the sleet on the trunk. And that's what they call snow. And it occasionally freezes. I remember it froze more when I was younger. It hadn't snowed there since you did that live stream in 2018. Yeah. I remember when I was younger, you would have icicles hanging off of everything all the time because it would freeze a lot more down here on the Gulf Coast in the South. And we also had some of the hottest summers we've ever had in the 80s. It goes back and forth. If you can get a farmer's almanac, that is the best thing I've found for predicting the weather. Better than the weatherman, better than anything else. Find you a farmer's almanac. It goes in cycles. And we had 96, 97 was an ice bowl down here, froze everything over. That happened again in 2004-ish, and then 2009 or 10. And Every so many years, it's going to do that. And it's very humid down here. So when it does, ice builds up on everything. Tractor Supply, yes. We have a few of those around here. I don't live in the city. I live in like a subdivision out in the country in the swamp. Neighbors down the road sending me pictures of like 17 wild hogs in their front yard. Bayou out here by the house, we've got a big old gator in there. I think he's about 16, 17 foot now. He's got some kids too. He, she, I didn't check. Doesn't bother anyone. I don't worry about the alligators. Alligators aren't what you worry about. Worry about the hogs. As long as you're not stupid enough to go jump in the water with the gator, you're fine. Gators on land, you're fine. Unless you want to be an idiot and try to walk up and pet the damn thing. Gator's not going to bother you. They're good eating too. But hogs, on the other hand, hogs will chase you. Hogs will flank you. And they ate a lady not far from here. She was a home health care nurse. And they caught her between the house and the car at one of her clients. The hogs I would worry about way more than the gators. Hogs and the fire ants. We have 1 or 2 people every year that die from fire ants. And if y'all don't live in the South, you don't know what those things are. They're these little mean ants that like to get all the way up at least to your waist before they bite you. And I think they have like a general or somebody that crawls up your waist first. And he's telling everybody to hold back. And he's like, hold on, hold your fire. And he gets all of them in position so you have thousands of fire ants all the way up to like your belly button or your nipples or something. And then they all, at one time, just bite at the same time. Those are fire ants. And we have mounds out here. They're like 4 foot tall, 6 foot tall, 8 foot tall, all kinds of stuff. And usually once or twice a year, somebody falls in one of those. Usually somebody that's old, and they get killed by fire ants. There's a lot of places where people don't ride their horse alone. I'm sorry, she's making me laugh. Because if the horse falls and you get pinned under the horse, the ants will kill you before someone can get there to help you. She's yelling because she brought food into the bedroom at nose level to a dog, and we have a mastiff. Lovely. But yeah, usually those places, like you get out by San Antonio, you just get more fire ants and prickly pears and stuff like that going that way. You start getting more southwest going that way. I live on the part that looks like Louisiana for a reason. Everything east of Houston, you can kind of take that line about US 59, somewhere between there and 45, but US 59, I-69, and go east, and that all looks like Louisiana. We got the big thicket too that I'm not very far from, National Swampland Preserve. She is mad. I'm really good at pissing her off though. You use fire against fire ants. Oh yeah. They were complaining about this one guy because he was pouring what was that, aluminum or whatever that metal was into the fire ant mounds, and then pulling it out, and it looked beautiful. You see all the little things they have in there. He's just making a mold with it, like, oh, it's so cruel. Nobody down here in the South gives a damn how cruel you are to a fire ant. None of us. None at all. None of us care. You can be as mean as you want to a fire ant, and we do not care. Kill them however you can, wherever you find them, wherever you see them. If PETA has a problem with it, They can have a problem. We don't care. Aluminum's one way. You prefer gasoline in a match. Oh yeah, got Pyro over there having fun. I need more salt. That's about right. I could use maybe a little more salt. A lot of cayenne. Still good. Just have a sore throat, especially I'm talking. That cayenne pepper hits. It's like ah. Anyways, we're getting close. I actually have more turkey to add. So, I was putting turkey in whatever I could. Start running out of stuff. You can also mix this with chicken. And I happen to have both, and I'm probably fixing to add both to the pot. Because I want to. And for no other reason than I want to. So this is going to be turkey, chicken, venison, and andouille gumbo. Gumbo is kind of a potluck. Anyways. The more turkey. There we go. It's all shaped. I like the pan. I want to add the chicken. It's kind of thick enough. Might use the chicken for something else. I think I'll do that. Because this one is full of chicken. I have some turkey breast in there too, but really, you're making gumbo. If you want to make chicken and sausage gumbo, or you want to make turkey and sausage, whatever, you want thighs, legs, dark meat. For some reason, you're starving right now. Awesome. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. But if you're putting leftovers in here, especially leftover turkey, the turkey's already cooked. You're really just heating it up is all you're doing. So wait till the end to do that, which is what we have done. Was that rosemary? Yeah, a little bit. We good. And yes, if you get some seasoning from your turkey meat in your gumbo, like in this case, there's little pieces of, I believe that's rosemary there. It's not going to hurt anything. Just leave it in there. It'll work for your turkey. It'll work for your gumbo. It's not going to bother you. Parsley flakes, chives. You can add parsley to it as well. I'd use it more as a garnish. Bring this back to a boil. Coldest. Let me see. Turkish meatballs, lots of paprika, cumin, garlic. Yes, definitely. Yeah, gumbo is a stew, ghost pepper. It's a thick stew. And I'm making it with leftovers. I just put the leftover turkey in there. I'm like, oh, some of the seasoning came off of it. But it's still good. I use the roux. You can use okra. Okra is really better if you're doing a seafood gumbo. Basically, what I did was I did the same thing I would do if I was making chicken and sausage gumbo from scratch, except the chicken's replaced with turkey, and this regular sausage, like the andouille, is replaced with venison sausage. And I put some of the andouille in there as well with the venison. Hold on. Just wondering how long I've been doing this. Hour and 52 minutes. Call it a casserole in Australia. Casserole is different here. I don't make mini casseroles. I can. I usually don't make them. I have problems heating them up on the road. I might make a few more. But usually, when you make a casserole and try to eat it on the road, if you're making food, you're traveling, you're heating stuff up in the microwave and all that. If you notice, I cook a lot of soups and stews and stuff like that. That's because I drive a truck for a living. For anyone out there that didn't already know that, and whatever I cook on the weekends, I take on the road with me during the week. And on the road, I have to heat this stuff up in a microwave. And soup, stews, that sort of thing works really good for heating them up in a microwave. You just sub ghost pepper. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Looks like you're from Australia. Awesome. Well, I'm from the South over here in the States, so we get along. I think most of our ancestors came from the same places. What part of Australia are you from? Huggies pepper. Oh, you're in Louisiana or what? If you're in Louisiana, awesome. Then we definitely probably got some ancestors. My kinfolk are my mom's side is East Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. And on my dad's side, they're up there, Pennsylvania, New York, Maryland, in that area. And I got a grandmother from what's now the Czech Republic. And I have a great grandmother named Lafayette that was part of the French settlers, the Cajuns. And I got some Irish in there and some Scotch Irish, and that comes from my other grandmother. So usually if I'm drinking Scotch or I'm drinking vodka. Depends on which grandmother I want to talk to. One of them will be Scotch, the other will be vodka. But you are in Victoria. Awesome. Why did I drop that? Turn this back down. And check my rice. I think my rice is done. Pretty sure it is. But we shall find out. Hold on. Okay, that is done. I will turn that off. I don't know what bowl I want to use. I'll use this one. And that is gumbo. Put your rice in there, pour your gumbo over your rice. And for the sake of time, I went ahead and fixed it up. You can eat it just like it is right now. But the longer you cook it, the more everything's going to kind of blend together in the seasoning. I'm going to have this on kind of a low boil like it is right there. Just a little roll for probably about the next 2 hours. Bite with some meat on it. And there you go. And yes, I am the idiot that takes a bite knowing it's hot and I need a drink because it's like temperature-wise hot. Norwegian, German, Scottish, Irish, Cherokee. Yeah, I have a great grandmother on the dolls roll. She has the whitest name on the dolls roll. So my great grandfather on my mom's side was born on a reservation in Oklahoma. And he married into a family that was English and French. That was Watley's, Lafayette, and there's a couple other names in there. And then their son met my grandmother, and my grandmother, she was Scotch-Irish. My great-grandfather, the one great-grandfather looked like Quanah Parker with a haircut. I got a picture of him somewhere. He literally looked like Quanah Parker with a haircut. The other one was just like this long, raw-boned, tall, thin, red hair up into his 80s, like gray and red hair, just Irish dude, And the other side of my family is the one that's got the Slavic and the what's now the Czech Republic, Ukraine, Belarus, Norway, and England, and Ireland, but a lot of Slavic and some Scandinavian in there. Scandinavians actually by way of Iceland and Greenland. They came across that way. So basically what that means is I am an American, so I am a mutt. We don't have the same roots here like in a lot of other countries. But in Australia over there, I think y'all are kind of the same way, that y'all have been your own thing for long enough. You kind of know where you came from. You got your own history of how that happened, just like we do. And you are a colony too. Although I think you're still part of the Commonwealth somehow, kind of like Canada is. I'm not sure. I don't live there. We're not, because we fought for our independence. But y'all gained your independence the other way. And They were all coming from the same places, though. So we don't have the thing. What is the beverage? The beverage is coffee. Had a feeling Czech was close to Irish. Yeah. If I'd say what I have the most of, it would be Czech, Irish, and English and French almost in the same thing because the English is French. If you go into the history of it, my English ancestors, they came from what is now France. So if you want to go back like that, it's Nordic, Celtic, and Slavic is the biggest ones. Yes, it's coffee. That's what's in there. No, I didn't make it Irish. I have to take my physical tomorrow. So I can't do that. But this is the gumbo. You can cut your turkey up smaller if you want to. I just kind of ripped it apart. I was in a hurry deboning a bunch of turkey. There we go. Some sausage for you. Some venison sausage. And so that is turkey and venison gumbo. The actual work for it took us about, 45 minutes or so. And the rest of it's just cooking it. You can cook the whole thing if you're doing like chicken and rice or, chicken and sausage gumbo within an hour and have it on the table. But it's one of them things that you could start at like lunchtime, and just let it boil real low on the stove for a couple of hours until time for supper. This is all just going to marinate with everything else. But that's pretty much it. The easy gumbo that we did over there. The easier gumbo, the one from the Zatarain's pack, which would be this one. This pack is what went in there. I used this pack, 6 cups of water, and I used leftover turkey, and I used the andouille sausage. I put it in there. 30 minutes, basically, you had a meal, and it's ready to serve. It has rice in it. Personally, I like more rice, as you can tell from my bowl over there, but it's perfect to serve like it is. This one has some rice in it. The other one, the Tony Chachere's, this one you're going to have to boil some rice, but it's basically the same thing. Now, this pot was completely from scratch. And at 2 hours, I'm eating some, but I would suggest you just let it boil on the stove like this for another, 2-3 hours. You can let it boil all day. You can start it in the morning and let it boil for 6 hours. Not boil high. In fact, I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. You just want like a real low kind of, just a couple little bubbles in there. You don't want it boiling too high. What we did add, we added cayenne. I put a tablespoon in there. You can put less. I put a teaspoon of thyme. We put a tablespoon of salt. I've put about 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. I may add some more. I don't know. And I put some of the Crystal hot sauce. Speaking of which, There we go. And we also have this. I nearly forgot that. There's somebody walking in the door. I put the file on afterwards. Add a little more of this. But you can use that instead of a roux. You can use okra and the file, or you can just use a roux. There it is. It's after I added the file to it. Filet file. I keep calling it file. Filet, whatever. Anyways, you go down the ethnic section, you find where all the Cajun stuff is. You'll see that. Don't worry, I can mispronounce words in every language I know. It doesn't have to be English. The only way you've ever had okra is fried. A lot of people don't like okra in their gumbo. But that has to do with, it's more of a texture thing because you're using it to thicken it up. And it uses that fibrous starch from the okra, and they think it's kind of slimy, what have you, especially if it's like overdone. It'll do that. And they don't like it. It works real good with the seafood. I do it with the seafood. I don't like it with like chicken and sausage kind of thing or turkey. But they're using it to thicken it up. I love good fried okra. There's a chicken place actually in Houston that the guy was an idiot. There were some black girls in there that were cooking chicken and everything and frying okra, and they knew how to do it. And he's like Iranian or Pakistani or something like that, the guy that owns the place. I won't say the name of it. So he comes in there one day, and I guess the guy's racist or something. And he fires all of them. And he tries to teach his Arab friends how to cook, at a chicken restaurant, a southern chicken restaurant. And all of a sudden, nobody's buying the food. They can't do the dirty rice right. They didn't do it right. I think he ended up having to hire them back. Have somebody that knew how to cook the food. Somebody that's out there, and they got the greens, and they got the okra, and they got the fried chicken, and everything else. I mean, if you're going to cook food, and you're going to cook Southern food in the South, or what people up north would call soul food, or you're going to cook Cajun food, you want somebody from the South in your kitchen. If you can get an old grandmother, I don't care if it's a white woman, a black woman, whatever, from down here, that woman will cook you some good food. She might be hitting the pot with a spoon saying, get back in there, but, she will cook you some good food. That's such a bad idea when a small town gets wind of that. Yeah, shit happens. Shit happens. It's just the way it is. But how shall I put this? The Houston area has such a mix of food that's wonderful. New Orleans is close, but New Orleans is a different thing. New Orleans has that Creole. And Creole is worldly to begin with. That's how it came into existence. It's a big major port. It was the major port at the time. We're at another major port over by Houston. But we have such a mix of population here. You can get authentic food from any culture you want, and I love food. It doesn't matter. You want Korean, you want Japanese, you want German, you want Russian, you want Polish, you want Mexican food, you want Tex-Mex, and yes, there is a difference. You want Cajun food, all of it. It's just wonderful. Such good, authentic food in this area. You want Indian food, you can get Indian food, and it's great. And I've had that. They cook good stuff. The downside to that is if you try to open up a Mexican restaurant or a taqueria, or you try to open up a Cajun restaurant or anything like that, you better be up to snuff. You want to have a taco truck or something like that, which most of those are going to fail anyways. Because, I mean, it's worse odds than a regular restaurant for most of them. It's very cutthroat. But you better be good. Because there's so many people here that are just top notch that you'll go out of business. You know, if somebody wants something better, they're just going to go a block down the road and they'll have something better. So you've got to be up on your game. And that is my gumbo. Any more comments out there? Gordon Ramsay of every race. Yeah. Cool. I think I've got all the comments. I might have to go back through and scroll. Let me check on the actual YouTube because I can scroll up on that. And Ghost Pepper, if you're still out there, if you scroll up all the way in the chat, all the way to the very top, there are comments by me, and they have links to my Patreon and my Discord, if you are interested in either of them. And if any of the rest of you are interested, they are there. But I think most of you are already on at least my Discord. So anyways, I believe that's all the comments. And that's it. If you want something to do with that leftover turkey, you can make gumbo with it. Just an option. And you don't have to go completely from scratch like I just did with that one. You can go from the box. Next time you're at H-E-B or Walmart, and I know Walmart carries that around, so you can find this at Walmart. Right there. Not a problem. And pick up some sausage. If you can get the andouille, pick it up. If not, just a good smoked sausage. Good link of it. And make gumbo with it. And you're all set. So, thank you, Eduardo Espinoza. Something tells me by your last name, you know exactly what I mean, especially with the Mexican food and the different varieties of like Hispanic food to begin with. So, I mean, you've got the Salvadorian food and the, I can't pronounce it right, but it's like, what do they call it? Like the pupusas. It's like this little cornmeal thing that's filled with stuff. And you put hot sauce on it and you eat that. And those are awesome. Like the different little regionalities down there. And then just your standard taco truck. It's like, if you can't make a good taco, you're going to go out of business, and you're going to go out of business pretty quick. Because there is just so much good. So, But I love the mix we have here. No, it's like, what is it? POUSA, something like that. It's a Salvadorian thing. There's some Salvadorian taquerias around here too that they got some good food too. And we got like Mexican seafood places that they got good seafood. Um, we got Cajun restaurants. We got the regular stuff too. But a lot of the regular places, they'll call things like Cajun or Blackened, and it's like, what the hell is this? Anyways, that is my gumbo. I appreciate all of you watching, but I've got someone in the back room that's already fit to be tied. I'm going to have to deal with that. And I'm going to have to let all of you go. And like I said, I started this earlier. I usually start doing this stuff at like, 7, 8 o'clock at night. But I have a physical I got to take in the morning. If I fail it, I lose my job. Because it's the one for every year to 2 years. If you have a CDL, you have to take a DOT physical. And now that physical is attached to your license, so if you don't pass, you lose your license. That is what I have to do in the morning. So I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'm going to let this boil a little bit while I get a few other things ready. And I'm going to get a good night's sleep. See everyone at Honda's. Yeah, Honda's probably coming on here pretty quick. I don't know what time he's coming on. But I'm going to get a good night's sleep. So I will catch y'all later. And I'm going to go ahead and end the chat. Hopefully you enjoyed the food. Hopefully you'll try it. And let me know what you think. So I don't know of a good way to end. I still don't know of a good way to end a live stream. So adios, goodbye, sayonara, all that good shit. And I will catch you later. Bye-bye.